Hey guys, welcome to Algo Forces. So today we'll be moving ahead with weekly contest 438 question number 2, that is maximum sum with at most k elements. So it is saying that you are given a 2D integer matrix grid of size n cross n and an integer array limits of length n and an integer k. Task is to find the maximum sum of at most k elements from the matrix grid such that the number of elements taken from ith row of grid does not exceed limits of I, and we have to return the maximum sum. So basically we are given grid and limits array at some constant k, which is equals to 2 in this case. So basically what we have to do is, if we want to take elements from row 0, then we can take at max one element. Similarly, from row 1 we can take at most two elements, and combined we can take at most two elements and take the maximum sum. So let's say in this case we can take how we will take 4 and 3 to get our maximum sum. But we could, if instead of 2, if it would be 5, then we would have taken one element from row 0 and one element from row 1, that is 4. But at most from each row you can take limit of that particular row index number of elements. Okay. And coming to constants, so the m and n are less than or equal to 500, and the element at grid of I of j can be at max 10 raised to 5, and limit can be obviously less than or equal to m. So I'll explain you the approach now. See here, so in this case, what is the answer? So the maximum possible answer will be 4 plus 3. Okay, because any other combination, sorry, it would be 4 plus 3. Any other combination won't work. So we have to select all the two elements from row 1, and anyways, it is acceptable because the limit is 2. Okay, but let's say just in case, instead of instead of 2 here, it was 5. Okay, so was 4 plus 3 the acceptable answer? No, right? It should be 5 plus 4. Okay, so basically we have to consider two elements for sure. So basically, if you select 4 or 3 in the previous example, or 5 or 4 in this example, so what are the elements which are eligible for selection? What I mean to say is, see here, though we have to consider only two elements, how many, let's say, I'll just explain you more properly. So let's say it is 1, 2, and 3, 4, and the answer is 4 and 3. But what are the elements which we might have considered for the selection? So it might be 2 from the zeroth row, or 3 and 4 from the first row, right? So these are the maximum elements of which are selectable. Okay, but here we have to consider only two elements. That's why we pick the top two elements. So if you are getting a hint to this, so basically let me give you one more example. Let's say if this is 5, so what are the elements in our selection criteria? So it is one element from the zeroth row, that is 5, and two elements from the first row, that is 3 and 4. But we have to consider only two elements, right, of this selection criteria. So I will definitely pick the top. I'll sort this and I'll pick the top two elements, that is 5 and 4 in this case, and 3 and 4 in this case. So if you are getting it, so basically what we will be doing is, we will be considering a list, and we will be just will be going on. First of all we'll be sorting the arrays because these are not sorted. And another thing is, we will be considering a list. Let's say this is the list, and we will be adding the limit number of elements from each row to this list. Let's say, so in this example I'll be adding 5, and for row 1 I'll be adding 3 and 4, because that is equal to limit. And I will sort this limit array as well, and I will, so the final answer will be 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and 5. And finally I will pick up the last two elements, that is 4 and 5. Okay, so this will be our approach, and time complexity I'll discuss at the last. Now let's move ahead to the coding part. So what I need is I just need a list of integer. List equals to new array list. Okay, and we have to just first of all sort all the rows. Integer I equals to 0, I less than grid dot length, and I plus plus, and we have to just sort it. Arrays dot sort grid of I. So basically this is sorting in ascending order. So we have to consider the elements from the last. Now I just have to add the elements in the list, grid dot length and I plus plus, and this is traversing through the rows, and now I have to consider the limit number of elements. J equals to 0, j less than limit of I, and j plus plus, and I just have to add it in my list dot list dot add grid of I, and then grid of I dot length minus 1 minus j. So we are considering the elements from the end, and now we have to sort the list. Collections dot sort list, and we have to do collections dot reverse order. So basically we will be now considering last, sorry, it is reverse order also already, so we have to consider first key number of elements in our maxim. Now for integer I equals to 0 till I less than k and I plus plus, and I have to just add it in my maxim, plus or equals to list dot get I, and finally I will return maxim. Okay, so this is the whole solution, and I'll just try to run this solution now. It got accepted. I'm trying to submit it, and sorry, there is one more thing which I have to correct it. This has to be long, since we are accepting long as the return type, and now I'll try to submit it. Okay, it got submitted, and now coming to the time complexity part. So this we are traversing from all the rows, so it would be m into, and we are sorting all the columns, so it would be m into n log n, and here we are again traversing through all the rows. So, and we are traversing through all the rows, and we are adding all the limit, we are taking basically limit number of elements from all the rows. So let's say it is limit of 0 plus limit of 1, and so on, and it will go till limit of m, because we are considering m elements. So considering this sum is equals to n, so it would be order of L, where L is the sum of all the limits. Okay, and here we are doing it sorting, so it would be L log L, and finally we are taking k elements, so this would be order of k. So what is the final time complexity? It is m into n log n plus it is n log l plus k. So this is the final time complexity, and why is it getting accepted? So for that we need to go to the constraints. So basically, say here we are given m and n as 500, okay, and the limits is also less than or equal to m. So here, which is the leading term, it is m into n log n. It will have maximum impact on the time complexity, right? So replacing m and n as 500, so it is 500 into 500 log 500. So log 500 is around 8 or something. So considering it as 10 into 500 into 500, so it is approximately equal to, sorry, it is approximately equal to 25,000,000. And considering this as approximately 2 into 10 raised to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 raised to 6. Okay, and so basically in Leetcode or any other platform, the acceptable range of time will be around 1 to 2 seconds, and in 1 second, any machine can perform at most 10 raised to 9 operations. Okay, 10 raised to 9 operations. So and this 10 raised to 6 is in our acceptable limit, right? That is, it is less than 10 raised to 9, and here we are neglecting these terms. But even if you are adding up these terms, even then it would be around 10 raised to 6 only, and that would give us around 1 second of running time complexity. Okay, so basically that's why this time complexity is acceptable on this solution. And so I hope you are understanding this approach. And if you have any doubts, you can comment in the comment section. And I hope you like and subscribe this video. Okay, then bye bye.